our on-set guest, and that's Beykent University Rector Murat Ferman, who joins me now in the studio. Good, thank you so much for sticking with us, Professor. You were listening to that press conference, yes, as was I. A lot was made about it. But can I first ask you about this grain deal? How significant is it that President Erdogan says that he believes the deal will continue?
Well, it is of extreme importance. There is no doubt that we are living in trying times infested with food, energy shortages and runaway inflation all over the world. So therefore, in those trying times, we need an outspoken force, a mediator, a facilitator, a champion of solution-oriented approach to these ever-complicated problems per se. And here comes President Erdogan as the major candidate for that critical role. And before addressing specifically to the grain deal, let me track a bit back. This is technically G20 is the heads of state and government summit. At the end of the day, the leaders of the majority of the world's most powerful nations come together. So the motto says it all, and President Erdogan started his closing remarks by citing them. And if you may, let us remind ourselves that motto, very simple, not very fashionable maybe, not very flashy, but really deals with the matter of the fact, the heart of the matter, as they say. Recover together and recover stronger together. So it's an attempt of making the best of synergy, coming together, joining to face up these very complicated problems and challenges. So therefore, this is a forum to advance global governance. And when it comes to that, of course, we are not talking about governing only, but also some kind of communication, staying in this together, agree to keep talking. Of course, the nations, 19 plus European Union, they have a whole slate of different topics on their agenda. However, we need some leaders who can really make things happen and try to make things indeed both at appearance and in essence, very complicated problems we are facing up. So we need some champions such as President Erdogan, who would really put that practical, hands-on approach, solution-based, and of course, President Erdogan takes his credibility or has been building up his credibility and if you may, all the way from the landmark statement, world is larger than 5. And he has been hailed and accepted as the voice of many millions who could not raise their voices nor heard as higher as some others. So at the end of the day, the grain deal is another, if you may, example of Turkey's ability and President's kind of a credibility in taking care of the things. No wonder, just after 10 days of the initial Russian attack on Ukraine this past February, United Nations General Secretary Guterres, looking for all kinds of optional solutions and something which can really happen, because talk is cheap, as they say. The proof is in the pudding. So he was looking for the pudding maker and per se, and no wonder approached to Turkey, and only days after the initial attack and the start of conflict, Turkey brought in Ukraine and Russia together in Antalya summit. This was the beginning of that initiative, that championship that Turkey has been leading under the guidance and leadership of Erdogan. So the landmark grain deal is another maybe example. again, with the blessings and cooperation from United Nations, Mr. Guterres, Turkey kind of demonstrated to the whole world that she can play a critical role in taking care of all these technical details, because Turkey now for some time under Erdogan's leadership clearly rejects some kind of classification or definition dictated by others. We are trying to establish ourselves as a central nation, a centralistic approach. We belong to each and every part of the world because we are in the center. We belong to NATO, we belong to European continent. We are in the north, we are in the east, we are in the west, we are in the south. We are everywhere. And we categorically decline of being classified by other people's parameters, such as the southeastern flank of NATO, or this and that. You know, Turkey is Turkey, and now we are kind of finding out our potential and caliber, the high caliber that will really play a facilitating and leading role, not only a facilitator's role, yes, but also a leading role, some kind of road opening, kind of a leading way in these complicated times.
That's right. Now,
therefore, sorry. Let me just complete this. Therefore, as President Erdogan indicated, I think some talks are already continue from the very beginning. We all knew, we are aware of the fact that this initial agreement has a deadline. Although there were some setbacks, as you remember, Russia has tried to really started a counter initiative, but with Turkey's again coming into the picture, that was taken care of. So Turkey again will play a critical role in this. And I guess now there is another kind of emerging fact with this G20 summit. People are asking President Erdogan about this latest incident happened hours ago, which are, you know, like kind of having all the potential of creating a new nuisance and maybe overshadowing the economic and cooperation-based issues of G20 with the threat of war or NATO intervention, Article 4 or something like that. And he is the first, as far as I know, he is the first leader to announce the outcome of this six NATO nation meeting, declaring that it was not a Russian-made missile. So here from Erdogan, I think statement will be heard more in the coming days because Turkey now is taking the initiative, never shying away of playing the leading role. In other words, Turkey is not a mere mediator or facilitator or in-go-between, but she is a leader not only in the region, but on the global scale. And at the end of the day, of course, we have to wait for the final communiqué. And we shall see if some concrete results will be stemming from this G20's 17th summit. I have my doubts about it. But I guess in these trying times, in these harsh times, even staying together, agreeing on continue to be together and stick together is the most important thing. That's why we can recover together, and believe me, we can recover much more strongly and stronger if we remain together. And so we need leader countries such as Turkey who would play an active and leadership role in this hard process. Dire days are expecting us from economical point of view. I'm a professor of business economics, so are much more concerned about those issues also. The IMF and World Bank, after their joint year-end meeting days ago, kind of dictated that this harsh global economic trend will prevail till 2026. And runaway inflation is still there. There is no absolute magical solution per se to curb that, and the threat of recession and worse to come, God forbid, stagflation all the way to depression, those kind of scenarios still intact. So we need to see more active Turkey playing a leadership role, paving the way to take care of these problems with this solution-based or solution-friendly approach of President Erdogan.
Okay, and as you say, we are waiting for that G20 communique to emerge. Let's see what it says. Professor Murat Ferman, thank you so much for your analysis and expertise.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.